Hey everyone, this is Elias with RevMatch Media. Today we're going to be test driving the 2020 Toyota Highlander Platinum all-wheel drive. This thing has really grown up since the first generation. Let's take a look. Now this generation Highlander has really grown since the first one that came out. We have this massive big black grille here, and it actually has a front-facing camera to help out with all the different sensors and all different safety features that it has. You also have these LED lights which shine nice and bright, nice and clean as well, and they're actually adaptive headlights, so they are self-leveling. So really cool technology there, and it just looks mean. Nice big front, really shows its presence. Coming over to the wheel package, we have a 20-inch wheel wrapped on a 235/55 tire. These things are big. They're really big, and they need to be big to really look great with the car itself. And they were pretty good. Nice, lots of grip, really quiet, not a lot of noise. So definitely a good combination with this. Talk about growing up. Again, we can see this thing is significantly longer than previous generations. I remember the first generation probably ending right about here. So we have this extra space here, and it's perfectly fine. I don't mind. Usually with other cars, they get bigger and it's maybe not the best. With this, it's not a problem. It's actually beneficial because this thing actually has a third row inside, and the third row is actually very comfortable. So again, we take a look at the side profile, and those 20-inch wheels definitely look great with this size, and the color is great as well. It's such a nice soft blue, but it definitely has a great presence to it. Now, when we come to the back, there's two different ways that we could do this. Actually, there's more than that, because you can put the rear seat down so the third row can go completely flat, and you have tons and tons of space in the back. Or you can bring it up and you'll be able to carry three more, and you'll lose some space in the back, but it's still very usable. And it's very simple. The remote will actually open up the back, and like I said, there is so much space in here to work with. It's definitely benefited the Highlander with this size increase. Now, when it's time to get to the back, just pull that, push it forward, pretty effortless. It's got actually a really good spot to just kind of pivot your foot there. So that's nice to see. And you have your handle at the top, your handle to really get in. That's pretty effortless. Follow me on getting in. And I'd say, well, let's do the true test. It's a little cramped, but that's because I think the front seat just went way too back. So there you go. Oh geez, there's tons of space. Take a look at that. Again, and the front, yeah, I'd say this is a pretty good third row. Now, can I recline a little bit, because the back is a little on the straight side? You can. Oh, this is perfect. I sit really comfortable in here. You have your seatbelt for the third person right up there. But this is really, really comfortable. I am surprised at how much space this is in the back. I didn't expect it to be this spacious. But yeah, well, from the way back here to all the way in the front, it's definitely got a lot of space to work with. Okay guys, so we are going to be doing the driving part of the 2020 Toyota Highlander Platinum all-wheel drive. And it's a little rainy today, so Austin weather, you guys probably hear me always say, is kind of weird today, but it really is today. It's really cold. It's about well, not relative to obviously me living in Miami, but 50 degree, actually about 45 degrees, and we are having some really bad rain, which makes it great for a vehicle like this with the all-wheel drive. So we have the 3.5 liter V6 underneath, and it is connected to an 8-speed automatic with all-wheel drive. So it does have a vector torquing system on it, and what's great is you can actually set the infotainment screen to show us that, you know, the split, and you can see that it's not just front and back like you see a lot of times. It's actually individual wheels that are affecting it. So right now, I just turned off the traction control. We are in sport mode. We are at a complete stop, and again, the road is a little wet. We're not going to go too aggressive, but I want to see how the power gets distributed. So about 300. Yeah, so lots and lots of grip, and like I said, you could really hear the growl of the V6. So it's got a really great sound to it. It's pretty addicting. So the 30 miles to the 27 miles per gallon that you'll get with this on the highway is gonna be a little tough to get. Not gonna lie, it does have a nice mean growl to it that you're gonna want to, you know, be accelerating in this a lot of the time. So it does ride smooth. It's not super quick because obviously we're now having to haul such a large SUV, because, you know, when I was introduced to the Highlander was my childhood friend. You know, his mom had upgraded from a 96 Toyota Camry, actually XLE V6, the works, you know, so they had upgraded that to the first generation Highlander, and it was a limited model. At that time was the highest, you know, with the gold trim and everything. So it was top of the line, and it was probably the size of, like, what would you say, maybe like a Tiguan, like a Volkswagen Tiguan. So it was a small compact SUV, but this thing has really grown on the inside. It's way bigger than the previous generations were. So it's 3 rows of seats, which is a lot. Now the back row has the captain's chair, so it has the 2. It's pretty big. There's plenty of space for leg room, headroom. There's plenty of space, and the 3rd row, we haven't put it up, but it's pretty spacious in the back as well. We have the seats down, so the cargo space is really massive. There's a lot of space in the back, which is great when you're hauling the family and you're having to haul all this equipment, or you just need a lot of space. When we come into the interior though, so the steering feel is pretty good. It's an SUV, it's a big SUV. It's not gonna be super sporty where, you know, the steering wheel is gonna feel, you're gonna feel every bump on the road, so to speak, to, you know, that aggressive feel to it. So it's not that. It's a little bit on the soft side. There is sort of a dead spot on it that you'll feel, which is again more on the comfort side of things. The wheel itself is pretty ergonomically correct. It's got a nice grip to it as well. It's a leather, so this one has the leather wrapped steering wheel. We have your basic controls. Nothing wow about it, just your basic functions. Then you have your gauge clusters, analog gauges with a screen in the middle. You can see, you know, you can set it up to be different things. You can also set the setting to show you the torque vectoring or the power distribution between the wheels, that kind of stuff, and the safety systems that this has. So let's talk about safety. I love Toyota's Safety Sense 2.0. It's a really good system. Paired with their cruise control, it really works. We saw it in the Lexus RX 350 that I reviewed, and it's spectacular. You know, we went on a really long road trip, and I couldn't even tell that there was well, I could tell there was a car in front, but I couldn't tell that the car was slowly, or the SUV was slowly slowing down. And it was doing it at such a smooth pace, and this does the same as well. So it's definitely a great system to have for safety. I mean, obviously you're hauling your family in this, maybe the race team, you know, use this for race support. It's gonna keep you guys safe. So it's an awesome vehicle to have. Also, another cool thing that this has, again, is your heads-up display. So I can see my compass, I can see the speed limit, my current speed, and the gears if I go into manual mode, and I can see the tachometer right there, digital tachometer as a little bar that's showing. So it's a pretty cool system, very simple, you know, nothing you know, really bad about it. It works great. It's very clear, so definitely clear. Not the clearest I've seen, but definitely very sharp and very bright. So this has the JBL system. I believe it's 10 or 11 speakers. I forget. Let me look really quick to verify that, but I believe it is 11. Yes, 11 speakers with 4 USB charge ports. The system is great. It's JBL, so part of the Harman group that, you know, I always like Harman Kardon systems. So it sounds great. It's pretty clear, nothing to really complain about. One thing I do want to complain about though is the infotainment system. It is not the most engaging in the sense of, or attractive, that's gonna want you to want to touch it and want to see what options it has. I guess it's just the color and just the sharpness isn't all there. So it's not really sharp, and the content is not really engaging. There's nothing wow about this system. And that's one of the things that kind of disappoints me with Toyota, because I love the TRD stuff, the Tacoma, the Tundra, the Sequoia now, even the RAV4, the little RAV4, not Pro, but you know, TRD trim. They look awesome. They look incredible. But when you get inside, the infotainment is a little disappointing. It's a little outdated. This actually reminds me of my friend Mason's GS, and that is an older model, which is not good to say, not good to hear, especially when what's really making or breaking or just kind of keeping you engaged or enjoying your vehicle is this infotainment system. Good example is the Ram trucks. The Ram trucks have that massive screen, a lot of great information going on. So definitely this lacks a little bit of that. One thing that is cool though and great and helpful is the surrounding view of the camera. So when you're stopped, you can press the little camera button and it will do a 360 scan with the cameras to make sure that there's nothing around. Make sure you're not going to hit anything, make sure you're going to get out of the space safely. So that was a cool feature, and I can definitely see that as a bonus point. So it's not just having the camera, not just kind of having it on, but just doing that scan was definitely a great helpful thing to have, especially when you have kids, pets, or are just in a area where there's a lot of people, and you know, safety again with the safety features that this has. Now when we take a look at the design of kind of the interior, I am very confused. I am very confused at what is going on with this specific trim, not trim, but just this design that was selected, this color choice or color choices, because there is this black of the steering wheel, which is kind of like a super dark blue. It kind of has a blue hue to it, leather. It has it on the dashboard. Then we get to like this brown color on the dash itself, so little parts of brown. Then we have the beige color, the very creamy looking color. Then we have the aluminum diamond plating, carbon fiber looking diamond plating plastic trim. And then we have a wood grain. What's going on? Why is there so much noise? I'm gonna call it that. It's noise. It's a lot of design noise. It shouldn't have to be all these different colors. And again, I guess this is the way that this one was equipped, or this one was designed or selected. But there's a lot of things going on, and it doesn't. It's not appealing. It's not. I would have said, you know, the aluminum, I say aluminum, but it's the plastic diamond plating looking thing. Make that black, or even make it the same wood grain. It's a lot of design, noise, and colors. With that being said, though, there are some really great things about the shape of it. There's these little cubby holes, or these little areas where you can put things in that are incredible. I love this. I love this. You get in, you put your keys there, you put your sunglasses there, you put you know, your wallet if you don't like having your wallet on you. You put it in there and it works. It looks, it's, you know, it's awesome, and it's not going to come out. You can really toss the SUV around and it's not going to come out. So it's definitely a great little design that you have here. And it's not just one, but it's actually two of them. So you have the other, the passenger also has their own little area where, again, you can put glasses, you can put your sunglasses, you can put your keys, wallet, things like that. So it's a definitely great little area. Coming down here a little bit more, we have your cup holders. Not Texas size, but that's okay. Just order a smaller cup. We have your shifter. It's nicely wrapped in leather. We have your park, reverse, neutral, drive, the typical stuff. But I don't have a sport. So I don't have a sport mode, but it does have a manual mode. Not to worry though, because when you're in sport, it definitely, it's gonna make the transmission in drive act like a sport transmission. When we get down to the driving modes, we have your sport, which is going to be just that. It's going to be sporty. It's going to be more aggressive on the shifts. It's going to be more aggressive on the accelerator. So it's going to be significantly more responsive when you accelerate. It's going to want to go. It's you know, it's going to be very responsive. We have normal, which is going to be a little bit calmer. It's not going to be super aggressive, but when you get on it, it'll go as well. Eco is, and when you're in normal mode, it can switch down to eco in the sense of it'll shift the gears a lot quicker. But the throttle response is fast. It's still responsive. Then when you switch over to eco, it's going to be a true eco mode engine or setup, in the sense of, you know, your pedal is not going to be as responsive. So when you accelerate, it's not going to want to immediately jump. So you can really like just tap on the gas, and it's not going to want to just go. So it'll take them as kind of like false readings, as you typically know in eco modes. And again, it's going to want to shift as early as possible. I would say normal mode is great if you have great control with your pedal, and you know, you're not going to be constantly just accelerating or jumping on the gas. If you are and you want to still save some gas, switch it over to eco mode. But if you want to have fun, you want to go in sport mode. And when you're in sport mode, you definitely hear the engine a lot more, or at least I hear it a lot more. Now, after we go through the driving modes, we have the drivetrain modes. So we have things like mud and sand, we have the normal, and we have the rock and dirt modes. So we can do a little bit of off-roading in this. I don't really see it, but if you know you're needing, like I said, a family hauler, and maybe you have a dirt paved road, or you have an unpaved dirt road, you know, use it if you need to get through it. And or if there's rain like there is today, you want to make sure it's nice and solid and you don't get stuck in it. The drivetrain is going to adapt to that. Coming over to some of the buttons here, we have just your basic stuff: turn off traction control, which we did earlier, and the power delivery is incredible, but we still have it on for that safety setting, you know, that safety system that Toyota is great for. We have a snow mode as well, so obviously the power delivery isn't gonna, you know, is gonna be set up for that. We have the hill descent control as well, and the auto off button to turn it off, which we did. Now, one thing again, going back to the infotainment area, just kind of the center here, we have your heated seats and vented. So thumbs up, Toyota. I love that, especially even though it's cold today, in our summer heats, they're really needed. So great option there. The AC or the AC controls are very simple to use. Whether you use it on the screen itself or on here, very straightforward. You can even sync up, so it has dual climate control here, but also in the back as well. So I can sync up all three, which is great. Or I can have my little guy have a little bit of a warmer setting than I do. I usually have mine really cold, and my wife is a little bit warmer as well. So that's great that I can have those settings independently or all synced. Coming back down to the armrest area, this is kind of unique, or just kind of, I don't know, something great, but could have been executed a little bit better. What I mean by that is this actually has, there's a little button, and the armrest kind of rolls back, and there's a wireless charger in here. There's a wireless charger in the armrest. So not only are you getting the 3 in the front, but you get this wireless charger here in the armrest. But it's a big but. It's not that big. It's not as big as that opening down there. So I did have to take my case off for my iPhone 8 Plus. So if you have something around that size, if you have that model or around that size, you're gonna need to take the case off because it's a very snug fit. So with that on there though, the big problem is there's nothing to really secure the device. So when you put your phone there and you raise that section to get to the actual glove box area, you don't have anything holding your phone. So your phone is gonna go back unless you grab it, you know, take it off, but now you're fumbling to maybe get something that's just simply in your glove box and your armrest. So great idea, but I think poorly executed. So not to worry though, you have the chargers in the front, you have the massive space, so you can really put the cable there if you're using the cable, and it's not gonna interfere with anything you have. One more thing I forgot is this has like a wide domed mirror. It's a cool little dome mirror that just comes out from your sunglass holder. So you open it up and then just kind of bring it up halfway. You can see everyone in the back. There is no way of escaping being bad as a kid, or early as a kid, throwing things, just hitting your brother, hitting your sister. There's no way you can escape this little mirror. So it's not just the standard mirror, but it's this domed magnified mirror that is great. And like I said, you can see everything. You can actually even see your blind spot, which is great on that side. When we're dealing again with this, we're talking $51,000. How this one is equipped with the massive roof and sunroof in the top, or the moonroof, really, or whatever they're called. Just a big window at the top, which is where the majority of the light is really coming in, or the very little that we have today. But it's great. It's huge. It's massive. It really brightens up the inside. And you have kids in the back just hey, stare up, you know, get off your iPhone, get off your iPad, just look up, enjoy the sky. So he was really enjoying that. You know, we have the rack mounts on the top, so if you have accessories that you want to mount, this has it already set up. But yeah, the sunroof works great. You have a massive window, half of it moves back, so it's a great thing to really let nature in. Or you can just do the little cover, which you'll see right about there. There you go. You can see that the cover, close that, and you can really tell the difference with the amount of light that is coming into this. I like to have it open, but not the window itself. So 51,000. It's grown up. It's really grown up. The Highlander has really grown up. Who is this for? You want to have your family. You know, you have seating for 7. Big family, small family. You have the space in the back for cargo, for, you know, all the groceries. So there's plenty of space. It's a big vehicle. I want to say this is, you know, it's getting to be, it's a full-size SUV. It's fairly quiet. It's super windy outside, and it's super quiet. So you can have meetings in here. You need to have a phone call. You need to make a phone call, hands-free. It's very clear. You can hear everyone. They can hear you. It's just a very big, spacious SUV, and it's got the safety features that you want to have. As a parent, that's definitely a great thing to hear. But at 51,000, I keep coming back to that price because there's one SUV that I've driven and I loved. The Kia Telluride. Yeah, that's a big contender for this. And at 40, I want to say it was 46 that we tested at, fully loaded. It's hard not to go back to that. It's hard not to go back to that, but it's this still has some great things about it that I love. Seats are super comfortable. The engine sounds so good. You know, this little design things that we have here in the interior, just the overall feel of it, the finish. The colors could do a little bit of help with that, and the sound system was great. But yeah, it's a tough one to work with. Oh, and you have Toyota reliability. Forgot about that. These things will go for hundreds of thousands of miles. They're really that good, and the engine is very reliable. It sounds great. I can't say that enough. It just sounds great, especially when you're in sport mode and you're wanting to really get it going. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed my review of the 2020 Toyota Highlander Platinum all-wheel drive. I've had a blast. It's definitely a great, cool looking car. It's very big, very useful with space. And yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And remember, find the right gear.